Hello, I'm Maximo Trinidad, Technology Evangelist for Sapient Technologies, Inc. In this short video, I'll be creating a PowerShell external help file with Sapient's PowerShell HelpWriter 2018. I already got PowerShell HelpWriter open, and I'm ready to create a new help file. To create a new help file, click on File, then New, then select New Help File. I'm saving the file as the name of the function and then adding -help.xml to the file name. The new help file will be saved in the user documents folder under the Sapient's help files folder. The tool is easy to follow. Use either the menu tabs, the navigation, or the designer panel to build the help file. Now, after saving the file, we can start working building the help file for our function script. Let's start replacing the new -commandlet name with the function script name. Next, let's enter the text for both the synopsis and the detailed description. Now, before jumping to both the syntax and the parameter sections, I would recommend to add all parameters the function is going to use, and then add the syntax showing all the different parameter sets for that function. Let's go to the parameters section to add all parameters used in the function. In this case, will be two parameters, status and computer name. On the parameters, I'm going to click on the parameters button and select add new parameters. Then I can use this to add all parameters for my functions. In this case, let's add status and computer name. Now I click on the tool icon to edit my parameters attributes. At the same time, I can also add the description for the parameter. I add the description, the parameter type, default value, I have a couple of parameter attributes that I can't change. It is required. I see I can't check that one yet, but it requires yes. Here I can add the accepted values. Pressing enter, we're unable the next field to be added. Notice while adding the parameters attributes, not all fields were available. You only have available parameter type, default values, aliases, value required, and if needed, you can include the accepted values. The rest of the fields becomes available when creating the function parameter sets. Let's add now the computer name. As you can see, you can either go through the navigation to change between the different parameters, or you can also use the designer tab option, so that way you can change and move along your help this design here. Go back to the edit. Here we're going to put computer name, and we don't need anything else to add in here. Go back to the designer, and after adding all parameters, just make sure to check the option has common parameters, which is right here. This identifies the function to behave like a PowerShell command. Now I can proceed to work with the syntax sections where I can create my parameter sets. Notice, as you start working with the new help file, the parameter set 1 will be automatically added to the syntax section. So, as you add a parameter to the parameter set 1, it will be automatically added. At the same time, here's where you can edit the parameter again to change the other attributes that were not available before, such as position, pipeline input, required, accepts wildcard characters, and dynamics. Let's add an edit to the status parameter for the parameter set 1. As you can see, now I have access to the other attributes that I was not able to change before. We don't need to change anything in the computer name, so it was only on the status. Let's see an example of adding a second parameter set. This time I want to include the parameter computer name. I'm going to go to syntax and clear the add parameter set. Second parameter set is added. I'm going to highlight that parameter set number 2. On the parameter is nothing, so I'm going to add my parameters to it. Then at the same time, I'm going to go into each individual parameter and edit. String, position 0. Normally this will come with name, but in this case I need to change it to positional to be 0, meaning you're going to start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Whatever number of parameters is going to be required. Here I have the option to select it or unselect. Wildcards, dynamics is available for you to change if you want to. So I need all my changes here and go back to my parameter set 2, and I'm going to make sure computer name is everything is okay there. Parameter type string, name, see here by default it's come name. I'm going to change it to 1. It's going to be my second parameter, but is 0 is status and 1 is computer name. I did put all my changes here, and here we have parameter set 1 has only one parameter to it. Parameter set 2 have both parameters set. So but 2 different ways that I can run this function. Creating the example is important to be included in the function help file. Let's first add 2 examples and then edit them. Under example, I'm going to do add example. And I'm going to add 2 of them. Then I'm going to go ahead and edit them. So here in example 1, introduction really means it's the prompt. Which is the introduction to the command line, is what it means. The command line already have, here we're going to clean this up a little bit, go back and put only the function name. And then I can add for this example 1 to only use status. And then I can add the remarks, talk about that first example. Then you go back to the designer and you're going to edit example 2 and do the same thing here. Matter of fact, move this here, cut, paste. Fill up the remarks. In this case, I decided I'm not going to include the computer name in my example. That was just an show you how to create multiple syntax. If you need to create a third example with the computer name, we can do that. In this case, I'm going to skip the status. I'm going to go straight to the computer name. In this way, we'll use the default of all. At this point, it won't hurt to do a save. Just make sure we don't lose any of the changes. And the next step, we're gonna proceed with notes. So if you want, you can go ahead and add a note. We're gonna go and edit so we can type information in there. We could do about this function, get dash MySQL services, and then on the remark we can add something there. That's automatically saved. If you want to add more, just keep clicking on the add remarks, and you keep adding stuff. And you're gonna remove stuff, just go ahead and click on the X here, and we should be good to go here. Now we can proceed and add input types, output types. We're gonna work with that. Input types, add one. Going to change it here, On the name, we're going to do, this is the string, and do accepts only string variable objects, variable object. URI is optional. If you want to put some URI, you can go ahead and do that. And let's go back to the designer. We're going to work with output types. I'm going to add one again, go to edit. In this case, we know that the output will be known as a PS object. So we can work with this. PowerShell object is created. Okay, then go back to the designer. And the last thing we're going to do is links. This is optional, but if you want to include any kind of link, then you can name it here, Sapien blog post, and you can type the URL of if you want to point to somewhere to be part of your help documentation. And I think this should cover how to create the using the designer, how to create the new help file. At this point, let's save again, and won't be a bad idea. We have an option here called validate help schema. If you click on the validate help schema, the output will show is any error of what you've done in there. There's not. And also we could do a preview. Down here at the bottom, you see the preview option. It shows what you see, what you get, sample of how the help is going to look. You can unsnap this out of the panel and resize it here, and you can see the information here how it's going to be displayed. Any changes that you do on the designer, as you move things around, you can go to option, and here's your panels, and do set to default, and that will take care of resetting all of your panels in the right way. Do a save here again, and for now we're done creating the new help file for our new function. Now, to integrate my new help file into my script function, I go back to my PowerShell Studio editor, open my function, and just after the opening bracket, I'm going to add the common base help keyword external help file inside my function. I'm going to save the file. Then I can test the help information by running this. Notice on the external help, I have pointing to the folder where my help file was created at. You can move this file to a different folder, preferably within the module if it's going to be in a module, or where the script's going to be run. To test this, then I can go ahead, I'm going to do this way, highlight the function plus run the help with the full parameter. I'm going to click here, run in console, And let me snap this thing out of here so we can see the whole process here. And as you can see here, it gave me the help information. Then I'm going to go this again, right click, copy, paste, and I'm going to highlight again the instruction here to display it. And you can see here I have all my help information been displayed. I have my syntax displaying my two different parameter sets with the different parameters going to be displayed on each different set. And we just completed creating the and test the my new help file for this function. For more information, feel free to go online and visit our Sapient Technologies products, information center, and blog pages. Thank you very much.